Here are 10 incredible open world games you may have never played before or must revisit in 2024. I've tried to pick 10 games that aren't blatantly obvious and predictable, with the hope that you've not played at least some of them before. Please know, these aren't in any particular order, and let's get into this. Number 10, Sleeping Dogs. My god, this is an absolute classic that doesn't get much attention these days. This was a game that came out in 2012 and kept us entertained whilst endlessly waiting for the release of GTA 5. It's essentially GTA, but set in the incredible city of Hong Kong. Not only does it very much hold up in 2024, but it's such a unique experience when compared to most open world releases. The brutal Bruce Lee style of combat is amazing. There is nothing better than making enemies inhale a load of fish, shit and piss. It also has many different unique activities, like doing bloody cockfighting instead of god to hell bowling with Roman. Or you can even sing your heart out with a bit of karaoke. It might sound like I'm taking the piss, but it's such a refreshing experience that you've likely not encountered before, and it certainly holds up in 2024. This is a game you need to check out, and am I the only one who still wants a sequel to this? Like the video if you agree. Number 9, Assassin's Creed Unity. Although this received poor reviews on release due to the sheer amount of bugs that have since been fixed, also, the amount of you watching who are subscribed is still lower than a worm's tits. If you could spare 1.2 seconds to subscribe, it would mean a hell of a lot. But back to it. As discovered in one of my videos not so long ago, the open world of AC Unity, which is set in 18th century Paris, is absolutely incredible. The sheer amount of populated NPCs makes it a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Does this look like it was released in 2014? It certainly doesn't to me. What other open world game can you think of that looks this alive and immersive without the need of about 69 loading screens? Paired with some of the most satisfying parkour and combat in the franchise, this is an absolute must play that is often just forgotten about or labelled as dog shit because of how bad the bugs were on release. Whether you're an Assassin's Creed fan or not, you should at least give it a chance. You won't be disappointed. Number 8, Watch Dogs 2. This is a game that is often overshadowed by the negative response of the first game's rocky and lackluster release. But please don't let that put you off just how impressive this game is in 2024. After recently revisiting Watch Dogs 2, I was pleasantly surprised by just how amazing the setting of San Francisco still looks in 2024. Not only does it look great visually, but the way NPCs act in the open world is very realistic and immersive.
911, please state your emergency.
Hey, there's somebody here, and he's taking a vehicle, and it's not his.
At no point does this world feel lifeless and empty, or filled with frog freaks. Starfield, being able to hack traffic lights, frame enemies as being a nonce, along with many other things, is really entertaining. And because these NPCs aren't dumber than your nan's bed slats, it's very interesting seeing how the AI reacts in certain situations, which makes this an open world you have to experience. For me, this was peak Watch Dogs, and 100% deserves revisiting or playing for the first time in 2024. Number 7, Batman Arkham Knight. Shockingly, this game came out in 2015. Just look at these visuals. I remember my sad ass playing this back in 2015 with sweaty to hell palms thinking this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, along with a quick online purchase of a bucket that would be used for shitting in for the next week as I literally bummed out this game. Regardless of the criticism it got for forcing you to use the Batmobile more than you'd ideally want, it's one of the best open world superhero games ever made. It captures the dark and gritty atmosphere of Gotham to a T, combined with one of the best combat mechanics we've ever seen, and finally having the freedom to drive the damn Batmobile in this crazy open world. It's no secret that the Arkham series was the blueprint for future superhero games, thanks to its revolutionary combat system, and Arkham Knight gets its gameplay and open world so right, making it worthy of your time in 2024. Number 6, Forza Horizon 5. So yeah, this is a very different game when compared to the ones discussed so far, but even if you don't get a rock hard rod on over cars, you should definitely still consider this game, from its insane set pieces to just taking a chill drive around the visually stunning map of Mexico. This is one incredible open world racing game that makes exploring its open world so satisfying and almost therapeutic. Even those who aren't into cars can get something out of it, with its amazing attention to detail, perfect driving mechanics, and insane customization. It's a game I always come back to when I just want to switch off, relax, and clear my head, instead of driving in real life, which involves hitting about 34 potholes on the shit to hell British roads that make your rectum flinch. You gotta check out this game. Number 5, Hogwarts Legacy. I feel like this game was sort of forgotten about as of late. Not only is it clearly the best Harry Potter game ever made, which I would agree isn't a hard task, especially considering the movie tie-ins are essentially Call of Duty, but using a brown shit stick as a gun.
And took our lovable Hogwarts schoolmates and turned them into Call of Duty soldiers with gun wands and a cover mechanic.
But this installment is certainly worthy of your time in 2024, as it gets the world of Harry Potter so damn right, from exploring the accurate to Het Castle or hunting some of these scary bastards in the Forbidden Forest. Real attention and passion was put into its open world, and it never feels like shortcuts were made, and it has a real charm to it, mainly due to being so faithful to its source material, along with there being so much to see and do. Caning it on a broomstick in a Harry Potter open world game was long overdue, but eventually done incredibly well, and it truly does offer its own unique experience when compared to the rest on this list. Number 4, the Hitman Trilogy. If you've never played Hitman, or played it in the past but haven't since, you need to pick up the Hitman Trilogy. In this game, you're a murderous baldy who's given a target that needs murking, but the way you do this is totally up to you, with so many possibilities. The mission design and attention to detail in its open world levels are pretty insane, from fashion shows to nightclubs or even a goddamn F1 track. These levels are impressive and so easy to be immersed in. There are also countless ways to eliminate targets, which gives this game a lot of replay value, and some of the open world areas you'll experience will be nothing like you've seen before. It's also nice just seeing NPCs act like real people, instead of acting like a complete and utter piss kidney. The attention to detail and intelligent NPC AI makes these levels feel truly alive, and for that reason, you've got to give this baldy egghead a try. Number 3, Watch Dogs Legion. Okay, so you might be a bit surprised to see this game on the list, but hear me out. Firstly, if you are British like me, it's amazing to finally have a modern open world game set in damn London for once. Not only is it finally set somewhere other than the US, it does a great job of replicating the London setting, but with a modern twist.
Bus wankers!
Not only is this open world game rare as rockin' or shit, but actually having the bollocks to set it outside the US for once, but it also throws the generic stereotypical free roam mechanics out the window. In this game, there is no main character, and instead you have the opportunity to literally play as anyone. Yes, this does have some serious drawbacks, which does affect the story, but on the flip side, it does make the open world truly unique, and something you should at least try out. And me personally, I give it massive credit for thinking outside the box and trying to do something different for once, instead of playing it safe, which does result in some really entertaining moments, like taking out enemies whilst playing as an old hag with piss-stained bucky teeth. Yes, the story does suffer because of it, but the classic addicting gameplay of Watch Dogs still remains, but accompanied by a brand new setting that feels very fresh to play, and that is why it's on the list, and also because I'm a biased British knobhead. Number 2, Mafia 2. What a game. Those who know will know. This was a game I grew up with and adored back in the day. It was released in 2010 and it is set in the 1950s Empire Bay, which doesn't exist by the way. These were the days where the story was the complete main focus instead of draining wallets with shark cards. Yes, this is a more linear game compared to the rest on this list, but you are still able to free roam between missions. What makes this open world truly unique is the fact that you can piss NPCs off by turning light switches off in any building. I like twatting them on and off, making it a bit of a disco. On a serious note, strangely enough, this is the only open world game I know of that actually has realistic cops and cars that run out of gas. So if you're caught speeding, you don't get met with a bullet twatted through the back of your head. Instead, this happens.
You know, I'm gonna have to give you a fine for this.
When giving shopkeepers a swift shot to the cock, crime scenes appear, and cars actually need gas, which I always thought was amazing for some reason. Maybe I'm just a sado. It focuses more on the realism side, which does seem rare these days, and paired with its outstanding main story that will be remembered for a long time, it's certainly a game you should experience at least once. For me, it's one of my favourite open world story games of all time. Number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2. This is where I get a load of people in the comments saying how much they suck the knob of Red Dead Redemption 2. Look, I apologise, but I could not mention it in here, even though I will admit it's kind of predictable to put it in the list. But who knows, there might be people watching this that have never played it before. And how could I not mention this absolute legendary game when talking about 10 incredible open world games? As I've said in the past, it's my favourite game ever made. It gets its open world absolutely right, from its incredible attention to detail that I've never seen any other game come close to, all the way to its legendary story that will be remembered for a very long time. It's often described as the blueprint on how to make the perfect open world game, and the fact that people still discover little details hidden within its open world still shocks me. Even just comparing how smart the NPCs act with other releases, it's like comparing the smell of toilet paper on your first wipe to the smell of freshly cut grass. Red Dead Redemption 2 just seems to be in a league of its own. And I'll be honest, if GTA 6 ends up improving upon this in its open world aspects, I think I'm going to have even more problems trying to leave me out. I recently saw a YouTube comment with about 10,000 likes or so that said, playing Red Dead Redemption 2 is actually a bad idea, as it exposes how lackluster most games released today are, and how light years ahead Red Dead Redemption 2 truly is, despite releasing back in 2018. And that comment pretty much sums it up for me. But anyways, that's my list, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what your top 10 open world games are, and whether you played any on my list. Make sure to leave a comment down below with your thoughts. I would love to see them. And if you would like to buy any of these games, make sure to click the link down below where you can get them on sale at Instant Gaming. And if you would like to find out whether Starfield is finally worth playing after its recent major update that finally adds land vehicles, thank Christ, make sure to click the card on screen. You don't want to miss that video. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.